So welcome once again to the Biz Breaks Podcast. I am the host, Kevin the Credit Crusher. My beautiful co-host, Nykeia Neal, the financial expert, will not be joining us today. She is traveling the country. Hope she's having a great time and being safe, but enjoying herself. In the meantime, though, we're still going to move. The show must go on, so we're going to keep on moving forward. We have the luxury of having Rob Epstein, film producer. He does so many things. So I hate to put you in a box, Rob. But for this particular conversation, we're going to call you film producer, and then we'll let you introduce yourself and tell everybody else the wonderful other things that you do. So welcome to the Biz Breaks Podcast, Rob. And I'm just going to let you tell the audience who you are, what you do, and you can talk about anything that you like.
Okay. Well, thank you, first of all, for having me on your Biz Breaks Podcast. It's definitely an honor. So I'm Rob Epstein. As Kevin said, I'm a film producer. I also am a licensed real estate agent in the state of Pennsylvania. So help people find houses, sell houses, doing it every day. And as far as film producing, myself and my partner, Ann Farr, we created a network, which is primarily based on YouTube now, called Bring the Sauce Network. And it's pretty much a platform that we created because we actually have the means. We have the camera equipment, the know-how, the lighting, the sound equipment, but everyone doesn't necessarily have all the equipment, but sometimes they have ideas they want to execute. So we're trying to put things together so we can give people the opportunities to either they want to be an actor, maybe a writer or producer, or just a platform. Because now these days content creation is like the thing to do. So we're trying to facilitate that and give people the opportunity. Also, I own my own production company, which is called Epstein Films, which I will produce promos for companies, small businesses, and do the typical things like shoot weddings, proms, graduations, any kind of, video or anything we can do, whether photography or videography, to market your business or market you as a person. So that's pretty much what I do, amongst other things. So.
And so, Rob, we know each other from the skate world, and on the Biz Breaks Podcast, this is we have real talk with real entrepreneurs, and we get into all parts of their life. So we know each other through roller skating, and you have produced a number of videos, a number of projects. Some of them have been in the skate world, and so talk a little bit about your foray into video production in the skate world, because that's a world that I really love. People that know me know that roller skating is a huge part of my life.
Okay. So like you said, we know each other from roller skating world. I'm an avid roller skater. That's what I love to do. So like I was really shooting videos. So I've been roller skating all my life, from roller skating as a little kid in the streets to ice skating to playing hockey, ice hockey, to roller skating all my life. It combined the two loves, the love for video production and roller skating. And some people may say, wow, like, if you love roller skating, how are you filming it as well? And you can do both. But, just bring a camera one day in my skate group and just start recording, us doing moves. And then eventually the rink owner, saw some of my videos I'll put up, and she was like, hey, can you produce a promo for me? Can you film this session and promote this party? But I think it's important, especially with the subculture of roller skating. Now roller skating is like very popular because of the pandemic and because of TikTok, and everyone pretty much making videos about roller skating. But it's a thing. I think it's good for roller skaters to see their work, what they do, and for other people to see it as well. So like I said, I kind of combined the love of both together. I don't film as much in the roller skating ring now. I do sometimes, because sometimes you want to enjoy, you want to actually skate, but
sure.
I think it's a beautiful thing to do.
So, Rob, let's stay on that for a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the pandemic brought roller skating into the forefront. Now you see roller skating videos on every social media platform, but you also see now commercials that are highlighting roller skaters much greater than they ever did before. I remember there was once I think it was a Pepsi or Coca-Cola commercial, one of the top beverage brands.
Mm-hmm.
had a highlighted two roller skaters, but that was really the only commercial that you see. Now almost every commercial you see now highlights roller skaters. Do you like it better now that it has got this critical mass and critical acclaim, or did you like it better when it was an underground and sort of illicit activity?
Honestly, I liked it when it was more of an underground activity. Honestly, I think it's things evolve, and I think it's good in a sense that people get a chance to see it and people are enticed to learn how to roller skate. But it's a little different. It's a little different. I think I know back in the day when I just roller skating, it wasn't so mainstream. I would just suddenly just tell somebody, hey, I'm going roller skating. It would just come out, and they're like, roller skating, like, you still roller skate? Like, that's something kids do. Like, no, we roller skate at nighttime, and it could be late at night, after midnight, and people are like, some people were like interested. I want to come and check it out and see, and then they would come and check it out and get addicted to skating in a sense. Now I think some of the people that are in the forefront of the videos because of popularity, they may not represent really how skating really is in a sense. And that's kind of my issue with it. If it was really the people that really represent the culture, of skating how it is, then I would, accept it more. But it's like some people that are like, well, we don't really skate like that or skate to that particular song or music but that's kind of, social media is kind of dictating what is popular now. But I enjoyed it more before as a subculture, honestly.
So I'm like you. I enjoyed it a little bit more as a subculture, but I have mixed feelings about it because on the one hand, again, as a subculture, right, it had a mystique about it. And so that, those who were roller skaters and those who were really good roller skaters were in an elite club, right? Now, so it loses a little bit of the mystique, but at the same time, though, it now opens up the opportunity for possibly monetization of roller skating.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I hate, not hate. Hate is a strong word. I don't like the fact that some people will monetize and they may not be great representation of the culture,
Mm-hmm.
but they open up the platforms for people who are great representations of the culture to go and monetize and make big businesses out of this roller skating thing. Out of the pandemic, I've seen a lot of the roller skate instructors take their videos onto those platforms, TikTok, Instagram, so forth and so on. And they've started to get, they started to be able to leverage those into more clients and even monetization on the platform itself. So that's cool.
Yeah.
And so you have produced some of the roller skating films, right? But you've gotten away from that. Tell us where the love comes from. The love of film.
So the love of filmmaking, I think with me is more so I love the process. I love the process and seeing the result. And we live in a world now that's instant gratification, and a lot of people just want things to just go fast. But I feel like I guess it's almost like mentoring someone. You mentor someone, you take the time to mentor someone over time, over years, and then you see, or a child or someone, and you see how they turn out. So I'll give you this little backstory. So I used to film things all my life. Just like I roller skated, I had like a little camera filming events at home and family and just filming stuff. And I wanted to take it more serious. So, video cameras are kind of expensive. And at the time, around 2015 or so, really you can either get a video camera or you can get like a DSLR, which is like a hybrid. It's really a camera to take pictures, but you can also video. So I went to Best Buy and I spent $1,000. It was a serious investment, $1,000 to get a kit. And since it takes pictures as well, I said, well, if I'm going to learn if I want to use it for video and it's for, pictures, let me learn how to use the camera. I love to learn. I love to learn something new every day. So I learned how to take pictures as well. And ironically, when I advertised as my services, people were booking me more for photography than videography. But I got good at photography because I forced myself to learn. But I still always have the passion for videography. I just like the process of creating, putting it all together, to seeing people's emotion conveyed across the screen. I love to watch movies, but I really love drama. So I like to see the people's emotions and facial expression just conveyed, and then learning the process and learning, when you see on TV or a movie, it's so much more involved than just seeing it, going over the actors, the lighting, the sound, the location. It's so much. So it's so interesting. And also, when I was so my background is I have 20 years of hospitality experience working in a hotel. And in my hotel, which actually got me even more into filmmaking, is we had a few different crews staying at our hotel for movies. Like the movie National Treasure, they were at my hotel. Okay. The movie Annapolis, they were at my hotel. And then also a TV show that was shot here in Philly called Hack. It was at my hotel. It was about a cab driver fighting crime and stuff. So I got really cool with the all the crew members, the directors and the camera operators, and we were cool. And they would call me. They say, "Hey, why don't you come on set on your days off and come check it out?" And I was on set, and I actually got to see it. Chance to see like a Hollywood set behind the scenes. And they actually say, "Hey, you want to be in it?" I'm like, okay, I'm not an actor, but so they kind of had me. I had a little acting bug for a little bit, but it was just like so interesting to see the process of creating everything, and then to see the result. It was like, I was there with that scene, like that restaurant scene. It was really quiet, and but this is not how it looked. But so that always interests me. That the whole process, and then seeing the end result. That I love that.
So the people you work with, I'm gonna be controversial for a minute, and if you want to be politically correct, that's fine.
Okay. Okay.
Men or women, who's easier to work with when you're filming?
Easier to work with filming. I know I'm taking a long time. I mean, in my experience, I would say probably the men have been easier. The men have been easier, I think, with direction, and for the most part. Gotcha. And there's several situations, men like, hey, I need you to do this, and they'll like execute it, and then some women are like trying to change it a little bit and do their own thing. But yeah, I can say that.
Listen, we don't come on here to offend anybody. We just come on here to have a conversation, right? We just
being real.
We being real. So Rob, what are your aspirations in filmmaking?
My aspiration in filmmaking, I want to shoot a feature film. I really want to not necessarily the Hollywood system, because I mean that's achievable, but it's these days you don't have to go to Hollywood system. I just really want to make films that are seen, films that make people think about things. Really, I want to make stuff that makes, you look at it and you may not agree with it. You may totally agree, but I want you to start a conversation. And I think that's one thing just in our world is people have like what we're doing right here. This is really good because we're having a conversation. People, it's a lack of conversations in our world. So I like, I want people to think about things and have conversations with people. Maybe to somebody that they may not know or someone that may not come from where they're from. But like, for instance, I wrote one film and I didn't shoot it yet, but I want people to disagree with it because I want people to say, you know what, if it was me, I would do such and such, such and such, such and such. And what they would actually do is based on what they value in their life most. So it's going to be different from everybody, but I want people to disagree and have that conversation. So I would continue to make films and give other people the opportunity to, if they want to be in acting or write and help them just, pass my knowledge that I learned onto other people. If they, think this is a career.
I find it so fascinating. And I know you personally, and I've seen some of your films, been in a scene and
yes,
I think two, but maybe one, but possibly two. I find it fascinating because it's not a world that I know anything about. So first things first, you just said something that is not common jargon for me, and that is you said a feature film.
Okay, yes, I'm sorry. Yeah.
So when you say feature film, what makes it a feature film versus something else, and what is the something else?
Okay, so typically you have the type of films you typically have. You have feature films or something that's really like 40 minutes or longer. So a movie you will see in the movie theater. That's a comedy is usually around 90 minutes. Drama is usually about 120 minutes or so. Anything less than 40 minutes technically is a short film. Now, short films can be a minute long. There's films that are a minute long that tell a story. It's more skill in a sense to be able to tell a story in a shorter period of time.
60 seconds.
Yeah, 60 seconds to tell a story.
What kind of? All I can do is curse somebody out in 60 seconds, and you just gonna know that I'm mad about it.
It's a story. It's a story. You know, it's a story. But yeah, that's feature length film. Like I said, typically Hollywood standards is more than 40 minutes, and anything less technically is a short film.
All right, cool. So now you're making these films, and your aspiration. Have you done a feature film so far?
I've not shot a feature film, but I've actually written a feature film some years ago.
Okay. And I know that you're working on and have been working on a couple of series, which are not shorts. They are series. A series is, what is that? It is a group of short films.
Yeah, a series. Yeah, it could be. No, a series can be any length of time. Actually, technically, it can be any length of time. It's just a group of episodes. Like you would see an episode of TV. You would see, you know, a drama, like a TV show like Martin. You know, it's a series. It's just several. It's not just a one-off project. It's several several projects. It could be any length. Honestly, it doesn't have to be. Now, there are classified like the TV series Roots. You know, it was almost like, I mean, long movies, but it was a mini series. It was only like a limited time, a few episodes. But yeah, series is just a few, you know, several episodes together.
All right, and talk about the series that you just filmed or you just put out, because there's something that is out there right now that people can see.
Right? Okay. So recently we actually shot a short film recently. We shot a short film, I want to say dropped about a month ago, which is called Blind Date Mistake.
Yep.
That was a short film we actually dropped. And actually we got accepted into a few different film festivals as well. So it's an interesting film. It's pretty much a simple concept. It's a short film, about a 5-minute film. It's a man, and he's actually going out on a blind date. He met this lady, you know, for like an app, and he's meeting her out in the park. And at nighttime, and he never really seen her. He's seen pictures of her, but never really, you know, seen her, just kind of online. And he's meeting her for the first time, and sometimes it's a mistake. You know, you go on a blind date, you got to be careful who you go out with. You just never know. So
I've made that mistake. The story is not about me, but I've made that mistake. I know how that thing
about you. And it could be no, but you know, and I think a lot of people, because we're, you know, based on technology in this world, a lot of people meet people online, and they may or may not be who they say they are totally. So we kind of see, we just see his experiences on this blind date and what occurs, and you know, just you never know.
And did you write and produce the?
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So you wrote and you produced.
Yes.
All right. So Rob, writing, that's easy to understand. What's the difference between producing and directing?
Okay. So a producer is really the person that just puts everything together. So so the film actually costs money, because film does cost money to a certain extent. You know, they're the person that gets the money, gets the investors to get the money, or provides their money to make the film. They also typically are the person that typically hires the director, also hires a person or finds the talent themselves. So producer is the one that just really puts everything together, puts everybody together. And on bigger films, really, well, it's a person that makes sure that everything is on budget. So they make sure, you know, this costs this, just make sure we have enough money for everything. So that's the producer. The director is the person on set that ultimately on set is responsible for the movie, They make sure the actors are doing what they're supposed to do. Technically, they make sure the cameramen, they're responsible for taking the script and making sure what's on that paper is what's filmed. So they're responsible for all of that. So the producer's more behind the scenes in the office, in a sense, if you want to say. The director is really more hands-on set, making sure everything is done correctly.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I directed. So my co-director Ann Farr, she also helped me write. She kind of came up with the idea, and then I kind of fleshed it out in writing, and we kind of co-directed, and then also I filmed it as well. So typically in a larger production, director and the cinematographer are two different people. They're two different people, but we're a smaller production, so I kind of do a little bit of both, and kind of defer a lot sometimes to directing to Anna. She does a lot of directing. She's learning that now as well.
And so, and that short film got accepted to some film festivals. So you guys must be proud of that. That's
Oh yeah.
Now let me clap it up. Let me clap it up for you on that. That's a big deal. We got to celebrate. We got to give flowers while people are living, right? Flowers while you can hail them, trees while you can smell them. So yeah. So all right. So you get into these film festivals, and that's a big deal. So tell people who are starting their film directing journey what that means to get into a film festival. And first things first, tell us what film festivals it got accepted to, and then what that means.
Okay. So the movie was actually a kind of classified, it's not really a horror, but it's kind of like a suspense film. So first of all, film festivals give you a more exposure to your film. You know, it opens it up and lets more people see your film that may not have generally seen your film. Also, one thing, the larger film festivals, we're just starting out, so we're in some of the smaller film festivals, but a lot of times the producers or investors for larger films will come to some of these film festivals and look at some of the short films with the thought of maybe purchasing some short films and sometimes turning them into larger feature films. And that's happened for a lot of films. Also, some films, when you make a film, a film that people want, put on Netflix or a Hollywood system out in the movie theater, you need a distributor to distribute your film. Some of these distributors like Lionsgate or Netflix or other people, they'll come to film festivals and purchase films to have the rights to distribute to a movie theater or to Netflix. So we were at a couple of small film festivals, and what happens is it's like a trickle-down effect. You go to some small ones, and then other film festivals, representatives come to those festivals, and they kind of say, okay, this person, shooting films, maybe want to use their film. Maybe their next film, we want to say, hey, can you submit your film to our film festival, the next film? Now, mind you, there are free film festivals, but then there are other ones, mainly there's a charge to submit your films to film festivals. They can range anywhere from $10 to some could be $100. So what people do is they'll get investors, sometimes investors to invest in their film so they can have money to put their film on film festivals, because it could be a lot of film festivals. Now, also film festivals, there are certain ones that if you win the top prize of certain categories in the film festivals, you'll be eligible for awards. So when I say awards, there are some film festivals, say if you qualify for it or you win top prize, then you can be nominated for an Oscar, or you can be nominated for an Emmy or other film, film awards. So you can't just say, I want to put my film in consideration for an Oscar. You have to kind of, in a sense, prove yourself in these film festivals. So.
Got you. And so, and we're going to get into this in a minute, how you, one, are financing your dream, and two, how you're balancing the two, working a full-time job and filmmaking, which is the passion, I believe. And you correct me if it's not, I think it is.
Yeah.
But I want to stay on the film festivals for a little bit. So you bought your way into these film festivals like most people do. And how many film festivals was it accepted to? And so, which ones? Put them out there so people know.
Okay, so
Where does he see himself?
we were accepted, I think I want to say 4 film festivals.
Wow.
And actually 5, well, five. And I think a few were for free ones. So it was one was a horror film festival. I think it's called the Film Fair Festival. It's like a big virtual film festival and a music festival that takes place in Las Vegas. We were honorable mention for that. And then there's one, I can't think of this offhand, but it's one is based in actually London. And actually, because the pandemic, it's a virtual film festival this time. So we made it through to the second round of the virtual film festival. And they had like a first-time filmmakers film festival, and then they also had like a regular one. And we got accepted for, because what they'll do is they'll have a general film festival, and then they'll have different categories you can be nominated for. Mm-hmm. So we were nominated for best suspense. Well, not best, but we were accepted for a suspenseful film. So yeah, I mean it's a lot. So ever since when that happened and we got nominated and we were accepted, and post on social media and even for the platform where it's a platform called Film Freeway, where they curate a bunch of the film festivals, and you had the links to apply to the film festivals. I started getting so many DMs and messages about, hey, we like your film. We checked it out. We heard about it. You want to apply to our film festival? So it's a lot of people have been, I won't say bugging me, but hitting me up and say, hey, you want to check ours out? And, it costs money. Some of them cost money. Some of them say, hey, I'll, give you a discount code that I want you to join ours or check this out. You want to kind of filter, through the ones you want to, be a part of. And, at the end of the day, it's all the kind of exposure for your stuff. And really with film fest, the short films, if you want to get in the Hollywood system, the short films are like a calling card. So it's almost like practice. You practice, you make short films, and people see short films, and then they say, okay, he made a good short film, so we feel like this person can take to the next level and direct a feature film for TV or for movies like that. So that's really what it is. And then some people foray into documentary films or for feature films. So it's like a calling card. There's many stories of people that shot short films, and they boom, like they Hollywood came knocking, and hey, we want to turn this into a feature film. That happens. But I like to have the control of putting out what I want to put out, honestly.
Which is where we're going next. So, but before I go there, just want to close the door. And listen, very, very informative. So you can submit, even pay for some, like you said, some are free, some have a cost. You could pay the cost and not, in my understanding, you may not even be accepted though.
Exactly. You pay the cost for them to screen your film and see if they want to accept it in their film festival. That's right. True.
So to get through to be accepted and then to be nominated for some honorable mention is a big deal, because that doesn't always happen for everybody. So congratulations. I'm going to keep congratulating you. That's a big deal. Proud to know you. The Hollywood system, you have said that several times, right? Mm-hmm. There are several questions. Question number one, you personally, do you want to go through the Hollywood system?
Do I want to go? So I'm conflicted on that answer. I'm conflicted because when you go through the Hollywood system, just by talking to people that were in the Hollywood system and reading things, you as you go higher in the Hollywood system, you start to lose control. You lose control over your work. So if you are a writer, a lot of times what you started out writing may totally change, because you have so many people that you have to please, so many people that have to approve on stuff. So yeah, you kind of lose control. So at that point, it's if you're doing it, you're doing it for the money, or you're doing it, just because you have a passion for the industry. Some people are in the Hollywood system that are cinematographers or directors. They can kind of choose what they want to do. Like I'll give you an example. So Ryan Coogler, His first film was Fruitvale Station.
Mm-hmm.
He had a lot of control over that film. He had a lot of control. It was kind of an independent film. And then he moved on to Creed. He did Creed.
Mm-hmm.
Creed, he had he had power on Creed, but he had like less power because it was a Hollywood film. And then he did, I think, Creed 2. He had more power than he did Black Panther. But you have to follow within the constraints of the people that are the gatekeepers, the people that have the money. So when you have independent films, you can kind of whatever you want to do, the story you want to do, how you want to do it. But when you're in bigger movies, you have some control, but you have to, the producers, the studio saying, this is what we want you to do. This is how we want it to be done. And you got to follow that. It's like going to work. You entrepreneur, you have your own business. You run your business the way you see fit. You go work for someone 9 to 5, you got to follow their rules. It's just, and if you're a creative, it can restrict you because as a creative, I shoot films with a passion, but it's like we have a desire to eat food. I have a desire to create things. So every once in a while, I have to create something. We myself and Ann, we were scouting out a location for a short film. I don't know what it is we're going to do. We're filming something. And it was just some test shots. Never supposed to come out. We were going to test the lighting, test the location. And it's like, look, put it out there. Just put it out there. Like, why? Like, something we created, put it out there. And we put it out there. And, people like this little short 20-second thing. But just had the desire. We had to kind of create something. You had that need to create. So.
All right. So your desire is to stay more independent than the Hollywood system. But if Hollywood comes calling and they bring the bag, you may say, hey.
Well, it's like Spike Lee. Spike Lee really is an independent director. He directs and he finds financing for his films. But Inside Man was a Hollywood film. They say, hey, Spike Lee, can you direct this? Spike Lee, like, yeah, all right. He did it. But he put his own spin on it too. He did his dolly shots. He did what they wanted him to do, but he was able to have the creativity, the power to do his thing. So, yeah, like that, yeah. Gotcha. If I can finance or get somebody to finance, believe in, yeah, I'll do that. And Hollywood say one-off couple things. Oh, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah,
okay. That. So the Hollywood system, is it being dismantled because we can now shoot stuff straight to Netflix? And is Netflix still a part of the Hollywood system, just a different way to distribute?
I would say it's being fully dismantled, but there's other players in the game out there. One big player now too is Tyler Perry. I mean, Tyler Perry has his own studio. Tyler Perry is the definition of like kind of like Spike Lee. He learned from Spike Lee in a sense. Tyler Perry films what he wants. He has so many TV shows on at one time. Tyler Perry writes, directs, produces all these things, but he has a distribution. He has his own studio, in Atlanta, but he has distribution. So they know he gets ratings, so they put his stuff out there on TV. So and also now there are a lot of content creators. I don't know if you heard of Country Wayne. He does hits. Country Wayne said he doesn't need to be in movies. Like, he makes enough money by being on Facebook. He just moved from Instagram recently because Instagram changed like their metrics as far as how they pay content creators. So he moved to Facebook. Or another one, it's a guy called Darman. I don't know if you heard of Darman. Darman is on YouTube. He's a really, really big content creator. He makes family-friendly films, and they all have a message. And he's on Facebook. I think he has like over 10 million followers. He's on YouTube. Well, YouTube, I think 10 million subscribers on YouTube. He's on TikTok, and he makes these films. And he has a nice studio in California. He sells merchandising. He doesn't need any movies because all his films probably get like probably 1 million views each film. Like, he's built a big platform, So you don't necessarily need the Hollywood. You can, if you want to be full creative control and make money, it takes hard work, but you don't need Hollywood to say, hey, all right, we want to hire you. You don't.
Gotcha. And there are some other platforms that are being created. I want to point people's attention to Fanbase, which is a Black-owned social media platform that, if you don't know about it, you should check it out. And it sort of fashioned itself after Patreon,
Okay.
which allows you to put up content, but you can monetize it a little bit differently than you monetize on other platforms. So, and I would like to bring the Source Network on both of those platforms, in addition to all of the other platforms that are out there. Not to say that these other platforms aren't valuable. YouTube, of course, Instagram, Facebook, those are great places to be as well. Okay, so people like you and people like you can stay independent, and now it's the film industry is being more democratized, so you can now go straight to YouTube and make money. You can go straight to any of these other platforms and make money, and you don't have to go into Hollywood and sort of play the game that Hollywood makes you play, right?
You can be an entrepreneur. You can be an entrepreneur, and that's really, you can do Vimeo. It's you're going to be an entrepreneur, and that's the difference. You're going to go get a job and try to get a job that's actually hard to get, by experience or connections, or you can go out there and be an entrepreneur. And I think that's really what it is with Hollywood and these different platforms. And just to piggyback what you said about the you said it's called Fanbase.
Fanbase, yeah. It's so Isaac Hayes' son, Isaac Hayes the third, who's Isaac Hayes' son.
Okay.
Created this social media platform called Fanbase. You should really check it. For everybody who's listening, and you should really check it out, because it's really interesting. So first and foremost, they have hit a huge milestone because they've gotten over I think it's over 2 million now worth of investing. And it's really interesting what he's doing with this platform, in that he's saying, people should be paying for your content, and on this platform they can pay you directly.
Okay.
Check it out, called Fanbase.
Yeah, I know you mentioned it to me before, and I think it's important because I think back real briefly back when BET was first started, and BET was started as Black entertainment television, for stuff we could see ourselves. I know my mother, she was born in the 50s, and she said watching TV, her favorite TV show was Gidget. Like, she didn't see people that looked like her on TV. So as she got older and I got older, like, and not in a bad way, but like, Mom, why do you always want to watch Black shows? Like, it's a show. So no, it's because when I was growing up, I didn't see representation of myself. They say representation matters. So when BET first started, it was Black entertainment television.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it was sold to different people, and now it's just whatever it is. So I agree. We need to have support, other, I would say, you support who you want to support, but I think it's good to support African Americans, first of all, because we know that, just say historically, our ancestors were held back and didn't necessarily have the same opportunities and the same amount of time to build wealth or to build things. So I feel we should, support that, because, we have the opportunity now to support and to build, things substantially. So.
And Rob, this is not a political show, but every time you talk to an entrepreneur, you've got to talk a little bit, at least on the fringe of politics. And so I want to say to the audience, we do not discriminate, nor do we have an issue. And I don't want to go too far into this, but nor do we have an issue with other races of people. And I don't want people to take our promotion of African-American living and African-American economics to mean that we are anti anything else.
No.
Right? We can all live. But the deal is, in order for Black people to get ahead, we've got to start investing in our own, because only we can save us, right? We can only save ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. So with that said, the reason I bring up these conversations about Black banking, we had another conversation some time ago, and I brought up Greenwood Bank, which is Killer Mike and his partner created a Black-owned bank, and they're having people put their money into the bank, and the goal is to lend more money to people like you who may not be able to get traditional financing through banks for these projects, right? Um, so Black banking, and again, this Black social media platform. People seem to forget that one of the first social media platforms was Black owned, and that was called Black Planet. People forgot about that, right? Long before. So MySpace and Black Planet occupy the same time capsule, so to speak. But people forget about that. And it was the predecessor to the Facebook that we now know. So I'm gonna get off the soapbox about that. But the point I want to make is, I think that what you're doing, staying independent, allows you to employ more of us, allows you to have creative control over our stories, and I wish the Black Entertainment Television had not sold to the conglomerate that they sold.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping, Rob, that I can nudge you and say, when you get big, no, you know what? You're big now. So let me. You're big now. You're big now. When you get to the place that Spike Lee is, I'm hoping that you will Tyler Perry the game, just like Tyler Perry did, right? We need more of that. So keep doing what you're doing. And I'm thinking that these platforms give us a way to keep some control in our community.
Yeah.
Which brings me to your financing and your juggling of these two things. So you're saying a producer usually secures the financing. So you, up to this point, have been paying for these films, right?
Yeah.
How have you been doing that?
I gotta go out there and make the money. No. So like I said, I have my company, Epstein Films, and like I said, Epstein Films is really the production company. I'll do different things. Like I said, shoot, content for business owners. Like I shot, some content for a women's clothing boutique in the Norristown area, Shop Lay. We'll do testimonials. I'm getting into shooting, doing really some marketing, because at the end of the day, it's all marketing.
Right.
We're shooting pictures or films. You can look at a commercial as a film, but it's marketing that person or the business. So I'm getting into food photography, videography for like some restaurants. Been talking to some restaurants about shooting some content, because they realize that social media and Instagram is the wave of the future. You have to have stuff on social media for people to see and make some kind of content that's mouth watering. So, of course, for those services, I charge for those services, that marketing services. So between, the money, from that, and also, like I said, I'm a licensed real estate agent as well. So day in, day out, I'm out in properties, selling properties, showing properties to clients. So really self-financing. The film industry is tough because typically there's not a lot of money per se in short films. Feature length films, you can have it on, Netflix. They have, their views. People pay monthly for that. You can put stuff on Amazon Prime as well. And so many, it's like a recording artist. When people are not really buying per se albums or records anymore, but people are streaming, and
Right.
you stream so many numbers. That's how you make money. So on the independent side, you can do, like, say, Amazon Prime. You can actually for free, or you can charge on Amazon Prime as well. So I'm just self-financing, honestly, because investors, it's hard to kind of get that investment back per se. So sometimes it's harder to get investors. So, kind of really use what I do as far as promoting, producing, marketing content, and then use it for that.
Got you. And so you are a full-time real estate agent.
Yes, I am.
How do you find the time to So how do you find the time to be a real estate agent, keeping in mind that most of us know what real estate agents do and the hours they have to keep? Many of the times you have to do after hours, even though the pandemic kind of probably changed that, right? But
Yeah.
after hours, weekends. So how are you finding the time to show properties, write, produce, and direct?
You know what? It's tough sometimes. My mind. One thing as far as writing, my mind, I'm always trying to be aware of what's going on around me. So there are times when I'm riding down the street going to a showing, and I see something. Maybe I hear something, I see something, I see a location, and I'll make a note of it because I'm always just aware of what's going on. And I'm always, it's just, like I said, it's not easy to kind of, balance because, for instance, I may have something to do on Saturday, but I have a client that'll contact me Friday night, so I want to see his property Saturday. So I got to kind of really juggle, that kind of stuff. And a lot of clients I have, they're understanding. Some not are as understanding. They want to, because the way the market is now, you got to kind of hop on the property. You got to hop on it, because if you don't hop on it today or tomorrow, it may be gone the next day. So it's tough. But yeah, as far as writing, I'm a definite late night person. So I'm up sometimes in the wee hours and nights. A lot of times they say you're an entrepreneur. You work at a job and you want to build a business. Sometimes you work at 9 to 5, and then at nighttime you made to sacrifice some things to work on your business to get it together, at night or whenever your free time is. So, excuse me. So I mean, I have a passion for it. So it's not easy, but that keeps me going because I have a passion for it. It's not like I'm just trying to force it. Like, okay, I gotta, I want to do this, I'm gonna force it, and I really have a genuine passion for it. And it's almost like eating or sleeping. I have a need to be creative. So, I may sacrifice some time of sleep or some time to do something else. Like I may come home and like I'm doing some editing. Like I could be out doing something else. I did take a break the other day. We went to the Phillies game, but that was tough. And I was like, man, I could really be in here editing or writing something, but I'm going to go to this game. I'm going to go to this game. So it is tough sometimes.
So how do you, so we know how you're balancing. Is it your desire to get out of real estate and do writing, directing, producing full time?
So yeah, I do want to write, direct, and produce full time. I would say because of real estate and because of things I've learned in real estate, I mean, if I'm writing, directing full time, I would always still keep my license to be able to help people. So I myself, I have 20 years of experience in hospitality and work in a hotel. And in the hotels, hospitality, it's kind of either love it or you hate it. And the job is really, regardless of what job you're doing in the hotel, housekeeping, front desk, you're there to help people. You're there to accommodate people, to make people enjoy their stay, whether it's a restaurant, hotel. So I feel like that's kind of me. I'm kind of the person that I like to help people, to assist people to whatever, to be comfortable or whatever goal that is. So that's one reason why I would keep my real estate license, because of the knowledge I learned. I would love to be able to help other people to facilitate that. That's like with the production. I'm shooting films and doing things, but bring the sauce. We're helping people that may want to act, to get the opportunity to act. Helping people that may want to write, that may not, have the opportunity to write. I have the equipment, the camera, the lighting, the sound. Like I'm always learning, trying to learn more to get better. Businesses, the business owners, they want some marketing material. Everyone has a cell phone, but they may not understand the lighting, the different aperture and different technical things we're going to get into about filmmaking. But at the end of the day, I'm there to help them to market their stuff. So that's what I feel like it all kind of comes together of helping, assisting people. Just, like you do with business credit. You help people to achieve business credit, to help with their small business. And that's me. I'm a helper. I feel like that's in me to help people to achieve different things. So
yeah, but I'm not trying to go out here and sell a house like on Saturday at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So and I say that because I admire, right? That you have to have strong discipline. You got to be flexible.
Yeah.
But and you got to be persistent, because that I get tired. I got to take a nap, Rob. I got to take a nap every day. So I can imagine if I had to go sell houses and still produce and direct these films, produce and direct these films. So I commend you, man. I commend you. I commend you. So the passion definitely comes through. I can see it in your work. Are you a perfectionist?
No, I at one point I was at a point in my life, but yeah, a little bit. It depends. Honestly, I'm more accepting now that things don't have to be perfect, especially when it comes to art. It does not have to be perfect. I'm my worst critic. I am, but I'm accepting that fact. Like, okay, if it's not perfect, it's still art when it comes to stuff like that. And like real estate and filming, I deal with people, and I love to deal with people. So and it's real estate, even though it is work. When I put in contracts, when I'm out showing houses, like it's to me, it's not like work. I'm showing the house. You know, I went to show houses yesterday. I have some today. I got to show. I'm just with people, having conversations. Honestly, walking around looking at houses. It's work. It's like it's not work.
Gotcha.
So
okay. So interesting. And I could do this. I could do this all day, Rob. I can watch this all day because I am so interested, and I'm sure some people in our audience are so interested in filmmaking and really understanding how to balance. We're talking to entrepreneurs and understanding how to balance working and following your passion all at the same time. And that's a big deal, because a lot of us are not don't show that. So a lot of us on social media are showing that we're entrepreneurs, but people don't know that some people have full-time jobs, and they're following their entrepreneurial passion on the side or parallel, as it is with you. So, and there's a difference between what they call a side hustle and then doing this parallel. I think what you're doing is parallel, right? You're doing real estate and filmmaking all at the same time, right? Yeah. And so talking to people about how to do that, one, that is happening, and that they're not the only people, because what happens in entrepreneurship, we think we're the only ones, right? I think I'm the only one out here with the struggles that I have, or the only one out here who has to face the obstacles. We're not. And so you're not alone in that. You're running your businesses parallel, and that's absolutely great and an interesting business.
I have another business too, but so I do more than just that. But yeah, those are the primary.
Well, do tell. Listen, you got the platform. Do tell.
Well, the other business I do, technically, I also do roadside assistance. So I am a subcontractor to U-Haul, and so some years back prior, because I'm a hustler, man. So some years prior, I was independent contractor from Allstate. It's kind of like an Uber and Lyft platform. You log in when you log in. If there's a service that's need to be rendered, they will send you a call. So I did that, and I had the equipment to give battery jumps to. I don't really do tire changes, but I had the tire change equipment. I had the equipment to unlock your car. So, I was on some different forums and stuff on Facebook, and a couple years ago, and they had one for U-Haul. So I signed up to be a subcontractor from U-Haul. So it's not as often, but every once in a while I'll get a call from U-Haul, say, hey, we have a truck here. Are you available? Can you come out and give it a battery jump? Or can you come out and unlock the door? If I'm available, I'll do it. If not, I have other friends that I know that also do that. So I'll sometimes route that to them if I'm busy doing something. But I'll get a call for U-Haul and say, can you come out here and just, jump the truck? And I'll do it. That's, $100 just to jump a truck. So that little kind of stuff there, here and there can also help finance some of the films. If I'm not busy, if I'm busy, I'll call a friend that does and say, hey, you want to take this job? And so it's, but real estate gives me the option, the ability to do a lot of things, because it's not something that I'm actually necessarily locked in the office.
Right.
You know, I'm out in between taking care of clients, or I'm out looking at houses or filming houses for customers, or I'm able to do other things as well. Not like I'm just locked in the. When I worked in the hotel, I was locked in the hotel, so I had to just be in the hotel. Real estate, as long as I have my computer and my phone, that's my office. I have an office that I don't go to as much. Pandemic, I've been working from home, so I'm just back and forth. So it gives me. It's a blessing in disguise because I had the opportunity to do different things. Like right now, we're doing this podcast right now.
Right.
If I was in the hotel, I probably wouldn't have this much time to do this. But real estate, I just glanced at my phone, and emailed anything come in or anything's pressing. So it gives me that openness to the ability to get things done. In addition to real estate.
Then I'm grateful that you're no longer in the hospitality industry.
I miss it.
If you decide to go back, I won't shame you for it. There's no fault. Right? No shame. So, Rob, like I said, I can talk all day. But we're getting ready to get out of here. But before we do, I like to do every once in a while. I like to do our fast four with our guests. We're going to ask you 4 questions. Answer quickly. Book that had a great impact on your life, whether personally or professionally.
Who Moved My Cheese?
Who Moved My Cheese? Good book. Good book. Resource that you use that helps you greatly.
Research. Honestly, I would say YouTube. I learned so much on YouTube and put it into practice. And what I do, I learned a lot. A lot of information I filter, but I learned a lot.
Biggest struggle in life, either personally or professionally, or both.
Biggest struggle in life, I would say that I believed I was an introverted person, but really an extroverted person. Just sometimes I was kind of shy growing up, but I really was an extrovert. But believing I was introverted.
Good stuff.
Sound crazy, but that's what it is.
No, some people don't find out until later in life. Got it. One thing that you wish you had learned earlier in life that would have helped you tremendously in your present or future life.
Oh man, I wish that I had learned how to balance money and really real estate and things like that a long time ago, because looking at how the market is, and it's like I wish I knew what I knew now back then, especially with money and investing and just like real estate and how that worked. Yeah, I would be financing all these films, especially with the market in Philadelphia, man. It's crazy.
Crazy. Rob Epstein, thank you so much for joining, man. It was an absolute pleasure. Tell people where they can find you if they want to see some of your films, if they want to connect with you, if they want to be in the film or help write or help direct. Tell them where they can find you.
So on Instagram, we have Bring the Sauce Network. So that's Bring, like BRING. The is THIA, and Sauce Network. That's one thing you can reach us. You can send us a DM. You can actually see there, and it'll connect you to our YouTube page through the link in the bio. You can go to my page on Instagram and see some of the stuff we have done. It's Robert Epstein, just all one word. So ROBERTEPSTINE, and that's all one word on Instagram. And that's really ways you can check us out. Now I have another page, Epstein Films, but you go to Robert Epstein, and it'll connect you to all the different ones. And also Bring the Sauce Network. So,
all right. Well, this and every episode of the Biz Breaks podcast is brought to you by Premisien Credit Counseling. We're helping good people get access to capital through credit. You can reach us at 215-904-8690. You can reach us on the web at www.premisien.com. That's PREMISIEN. You can email us at info@Premisien, and we're on all social media platforms with the name Premisien. Again, that's PREMISIEN. We are the Biz Breaks Podcast, where we have real talk with real entrepreneurs. Please don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and share. Go onto our YouTube page, go onto our Facebook page. We have a Facebook page for the podcast and our own Facebook pages. So go on there, go into my YouTube channel at Premisien Credit Counseling, youtube.com, Premisien Credit Counseling. You can find us there. Again, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and share. And we're here every Wednesday, 1 p.m. on the Biz Breaks Podcast. Thanks, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
All right.